In this video, we're going to talk about the 7 pathways to immigration to Canada through Manitoba provincial nominee programs. Hi, I'm Robert Dykstra. I'm an immigration consultant in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. In my videos, I want to explain immigration pathways to Canada. I want to talk about the requirements and the risks, and also give my own professional and local knowledge. Please give me a like if you find this video helpful. Now, I mentioned there's 7 pathways for immigration through Manitoba provincial nomination. The first 2 I'm going to mention are the entrepreneur pathway and the farm investor pathway, and these are the 2 business investor streams. Now, the farm investor pathway is for people with corporate farm experience running a farm business. It's not for people who want to run a farm in the future and never have no experience. The other one, which is more popular, is the entrepreneur pathway, but there are requirements such as a $500,000 net worth, a business plan that involves a $250,000 investment in the business, whether if that business is in Winnipeg or the Manitoba capital region, and it can be lower at $150,000 if it's not in Winnipeg. But the requirement also requires that the new business or the business that's been purchased employs 1 Canadian that is not a family member, or it could be a permanent resident that's not a family member. Eventually, after this business is up and running and proven to be running, then the owner is going to have to show a language level of a CLB 5, which is roughly around the same as a IELTS 5. So that's the 2 business investor streams. Now, the next 3 streams are for international education streams. These are people who have studied and graduated in Manitoba. The first one I'm going to mention is the International Student Entrepreneur Pilot. It's a very small program. It's only for younger persons between 21 and 35, and they've graduated from a minimum of a 2-year program in Manitoba. So it must be either a diploma program or a university program. The second one is for graduates, internship pathway. That is for master's degree students or PhD students that have participated in a research project on their way to getting their master's or their PhD, and these people can apply for provincial nominations without any job offer. The third one, which is more common, is the career employment pathway. That is for students that have graduated from a minimum 1-year program in Manitoba. They have a job offer, and that job matches what they studied in Manitoba, and the job is on the Manitoba in-demand list. Now, there's many jobs on the in-demand list, too many to go through which ones are and which ones aren't in this video. So that's the international education stream. Now, those 3 streams require a CLB level of 7, which is roughly equal to an IELTS 6 in every category. But if you studied in Manitoba, you probably already have an IELTS 6. The last one we're going to talk about is the skilled worker streams. There's 2 streams in that category, and that is skilled workers overseas. Now, skilled workers overseas has been only for persons matching Manitoba strategic initiatives, meaning that it's not something you would choose, it would be something you're invited to. And so it's not something we can really pursue as a consultant telling you what you can do to become a Manitoba skilled worker overseas. And the last one we're going to talk about, and the most important one, is skilled worker in Manitoba. Now, a skilled worker in Manitoba obviously has to have work experience in Manitoba, and right now the minimum requirement is 6 months of work experience in Manitoba, but it must be with a valid work permit. And how would you get a valid work permit? It would be either after studying, it would be your post-graduation work permit, or if you are the spouse of a student, it would be your open work permit as the spouse of a student. Or the third one could be as a labor market impact assessment work permit, which is for jobs identified by the employer as needing foreigners to work in the job. So after 6 months of work experience, and you'd be working for an established Manitoba employer. It wouldn't be something where you're working as a self-employed person. No gig jobs, and a gig job is where you do food delivery or private taxi. Those jobs are self-employed and not considered working for an employer in Manitoba. Now, the work does not have to be high-skilled. It can be also a low-skilled work. Low-skilled work with a minimum of public interaction, such as a cleaner or factory worker, well, that person would only need a language level of CLB 4, which is about equal to IELTS 4. But as the job gets more higher skilled, then the language level requirement will become higher and higher, such as a bookkeeper will require a CLB 5, which is equal to about an IELTS 5. And if you were like in the nursing profession or a healthcare professional, then you're looking at a CLB 7 minimum, and that is a IELTS 6666. Those are the 7 Manitoba provincial nomination pathways. These pathways can lead to permanent residence in Canada. We talked about 2 business investment pathways, 3 pathways for Manitoba graduates, 1 pathway which is special for the Manitoba strategic initiatives, and the last one, skilled worker in Manitoba, which for many is the most favorable pathway to immigrate to Canada. In future videos, I'll explain each of these pathways in more detail. I'm Robert Dykstra. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like and follow us.